Star here. Well, actually, my real name is Rane, but we'll get into that another video, like a Q&A video. And I know that I don't do these videos ever. I actually never show my face on my channel. I'm just starting my gotcha channel. But this is going to be a different type of video. Today, I will be telling you I'll be doing the Storytime video, which I've watched a lot of these, and I thought that a certain someone that I've had in my life, that I had in my life for the last 3 years, that was a friend of mine, turned out to be a toxic liar, and I guess I'm gonna talk about that person. And for special reasons, I will not use their real name. And FYI, this is a boy. This is not a girl. This is a boy that, so let's give him the name. Let's give him the name Jonathan. Okay, so I met Jonathan in the 6th grade on the first day of school in PE class. He was really, really nice from 6th to 7th. Fast forward to 8th grade, I gained a group of friends, and me and him were still really close. We were in the same friend group. I guess you could say I created the whole friend group because I suggested to my friends, to my other friends that are girls, that we should have him in our group because I trust him so much, or so I thought. So, fast forward like a couple months after, and this happened I will remind you guys that some of this happened when we were still in school in the 8th grade. So this happened like last year towards this year, towards like COVID and quarantine when we weren't in school. This happened all over that era. But anyways, so I was technically, so in the 8th grade, I met more friends. And this girl that I've known for, these three other girls in our group, I started to notice something about them when they're around Jonathan. I don't know, I didn't want to second guess, like, okay, they don't like him, they hate him, but I liked him, I liked being his friend, okay? And, fast forward like a couple of months, we get into a really big argument. I start to get really stressed out. I don't tell any of my friends in my group how I'm feeling, even though I should, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be making this video. If I did, I wouldn't be making this video today, now would I? But, so, that happened. We got into an argument, and keep in mind, just keep that one argument in mind. Keep an argument in mind that we didn't get into just one argument. We got into like an argument like every two weeks. But me and one other person that I shall not mention, I will call her Jenny. Me and Jenny were the two people in our group of friends that never ever caused the problem or the argument. We were always so peaceful. Me and Jenny were peaceful people. We didn't like people fighting. So that being said, me being the nice person that I am, I decided that, hey, we should try and talk to them to sort this out. I thought it was going to be a one-time thing. One-time thing turned into two-time things, two-time things turned into three-time things, and then it started happening really frequently. I don't understand. Till this day, I don't understand what would have happened if I didn't take Jonathan's side on everything. Maybe I should have listened to my friends when they warned me about him in the first place. But, okay, so they're arguing, and the last argument, keep this in mind, that the last argument that I've ever had with all of them was when I finally snapped. As in, I guess I wasn't, when you're angry at somebody, but you just, like, have that feeling, like, okay, I'm just gonna brush it off my shoulder, like, it's nothing, because if I get mad, then it's like, okay, then they're gonna think that, okay, that she's overreacting, like, this is not the joyful and kind person that we know on a daily basis. And I'm normally, everybody knows this about me. I hate fighting. I love peace. I'm a very genuine and calming, understanding, nice, and genuinely calming person. So me being the good friend that I am, I always had their backs. Whether I knew they were wrong, when I knew they were wrong, I still had their backs. Okay, so yeah, that's cool. So, um, the last fight that I, the last, the last fight that we all had together that officially broke us up was over. I guess I wouldn't say it was over me, but I think it was my friends at the moment, and it wasn't their fault because they were just so angry because they realized that they stopped liking Jonathan, and they didn't want him to be in our group anymore. And they came to me, they told me, and I said, "Why is it that you were telling me this now? Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I would have understood." And they told me this one thing. They said, "Cause we know you. You're a very calming person, and we just thought this would, just break your heart or tear your spirit, and we didn't want to make you feel like that." I can understand now. I can understand where they're coming from. I can. I really can. I can understand where they're coming from because, like, people who have been in in that type of situation with somebody that they thought they could trust, but in the end they can't because things happen in the future, the past, that person just questions everything. It's really hard to hear that, and I understand where they were coming from when they knew how nice and a calming person how I am, and how they didn't want to destroy my wishes. So the boy Jonathan, he decided to argue with everybody. What's the I asked him, I said, "Okay, so we all need to talk." And this is still in quarantine. I was not in school when any of this argument was happening. This was all over the phone and text and call. We were all in a group call, a group chat, and all that sorts of stuff. So I texted my friend. I'll call her Jenny. I texted my friend Jenny that I've known since the third grade, or like the second grade. So she's she's the longest person and the longest friendship that I've had in this whole group. Okay, so I texted her. I said, "Hey, Jenny, we should all talk about this problem because it seems like none of you are coming to terms of talking to each other. So let's try and build or repair the damage that we've said, or the damage that we've done so we can move forward and potentially not have this happen again, because this has happened multiple times." Okay, Jenny decides that, "Oh yeah, sure." We and then I text another friend. I text two other girls, but I can't think of names for them. But I'm not gonna say their real names. So I texted two other girls who are also my friend group at the time. I said, "Guys, we need to talk. We all need to talk, including Jonathan." I texted him privately. I said, "Yo, Jonathan, are you busy now? We really need to talk about this. This seems like something that we need to talk about. This really seems like this is something that just we need to talk about, like, immediately, because if we don't, then it's going to take a toll on all of us, including me." So we got on a call. It was cool. It was calm for like the first 2 minutes. And if I tell you that it was calm for 2 minutes, and I was on the phone call with all of them for a whole hour, do the math, please. Do the math. So it's just like it was calm for 2 minutes. Then somebody said something, and Jonathan starts to get defensive. They all start barking at each other, like dogs. That's how I would describe it, because that's basically how it was. Even though they're humans, it's a metaphor. But yeah, and it's just really like, and I guess that is when I knew that I snapped. And it's not like I intended to, but I wish my conscience was telling me not to hold it back anymore. You can't push it off your shoulders. You can't brush it off your shoulders like it's nothing anymore. This is getting more and more. This is progressing more and more and more and more getting into like making it worse. So you have to say something. You have to tell them how you feel. Yes, they may be mad at you, but if they were true friends, they would understand you. So what I did, I snapped at all of them. But I snapped and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to because the course, so I yelled at them for at least 4 to 3 minutes, but the last 2 minutes of that I yelled at them, I broke down. I literally had a mental breakdown. I went from yelling to physically crying my eyes out. So then I ended I left the call. My friend Jenny, she asked me. She said, Renee, are you okay? She texted me on when I left the call on Snapchat. She's like, hey, are you okay? You seem like you seem like you're really stressed out. You want to call just us two, just privately, or you want to have make a new group chat with just us and the girls just to calm you down because you seem like you really like this really has taken a toll on you. And I said, sure. I explained to them how I really felt. I explained to them how every little like thing that they've gotten to, this little arguments that they've gotten to, just really, I couldn't like take it anymore. Like it was something that was really pissing me off, and I just couldn't do it anymore. As much as I wanted to, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. I told them, okay, and then my friends, the girls of that group, they were like, okay, we need to tell him how we feel, and then they apologized too. They apologized multiple times, and I said it's not your fault, it's my fault because I didn't snap. I didn't like show my emotions the way I was supposed to. I didn't show them at the right time. I did it when it was too late, and maybe if I did it, and maybe if I snapped earlier, maybe then I wouldn't have had a mental breakdown at that moment, or wouldn't have the sensation or sadness and all that just weight lifted. I would have all that weight lifted off my shoulders a little sooner, but I decided to do it the way I did it, and I still regret it to this day. So they apologized. I said it was nothing. It was not their fault. It was mainly Jonathan's fault. So what we did, we all got back on the group call. They said that so all the girls agreed that they do not want to be friends with the boy anymore, with Jonathan anymore. Like they couldn't take his crap anymore. They said, "Yo, we can't take your crap anymore. This is just." We're just done. We don't want to be fighting for you. We're doing this or because you're always making the arguments. And then they asked me this question. And I told them this. They said, Renee can agree with us. She can agree with us. They asked me if I can agree with them on what they're saying. And I said yes. And then the boy Jonathan got really defensive and really angry. And then I yelled at him. I told him, I said, you know it's true. You always used to do this. I've known you since the 6th grade, and yet I don't feel like I can trust you anymore. And like all sorts of things like that. And then he got mad, left the call. I said, okay, guys, maybe we should take a break from all of us in general, not only Jonathan. We should take a break from this whole group to reassess ourselves and make better of ourselves independently and individually. Then when we're ready to then when we've established ourselves, then we can come back and figure out this whole situation. You ever heard the saying that you can't love somebody else before you have to love yourself before loving anybody else? That's basically what I was trying to tell them, is that we gotta figure out who we are individually. Then maybe when we're all calm, when we know what we want to do, how we want to talk this out, if we want to talk this out, or if we just don't want this anymore, we'll come back as a group and explain. And we all agreed on that. Fast forward about 2 months later, my friend Jenna Jenny texted me on Snapchat. And also I've known her since the second grade. She's a really good friend of mine, and that's the longest friendship. And I'm a freshman in high school now. I'm in the ninth grade, so that tells you something. That tells you that she's a very trusting and honest person. I know they say nobody could be perfect, but but for me to tell you guys that I've known her since the second grade, and I'm a freshman in high school and I'm in the ninth grade now, and those through the courses of those years, we've never had like big arguments. We've had like little silly fun arguments about some stupid stuff that teenagers do, but like that tells you how genuinely I care about her and how genuinely she cares about me. So, fast forward 2 months, she texts me and she was like, "Yo, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Do you want to do this, or do you want to take a little long? Do you want the break to take a little bit longer?" And I said, "No, I have to get this done now before I don't get this done." So I was like, "Okay." We all got on the group call. It was basically the most awkwardest it's ever been. Actually, not the most awkwardest, the most tensest it's ever been, because everybody's mad. Everybody's got their reasons to be mad. All this sorts of stuff. And not to mention, I'm not saying that I'm innocent, because I've done one thing to Jonathan. And so like me and my other friend in the group, I'll call her I'll call her Cheryl. Me and Cheryl, we tried to play a little prank on him, like a social experiment prank, and that's what we called it. We were trying to ignore him to see if he would notice. So every time he talked to us or called us on the phone, we wouldn't pick up the phone. We wouldn't answer his text. We would see the text, we would view the text, but we wouldn't answer back. And then he's like getting worried. And then I told him that it was a prank. Me being and then like on top of that, like and that's the baddest, like he thinks that's the baddest thing in the world. Yes, I apologize. Yes, he forgave me. But like he's done so much other stuff to us. That's the only thing he has against me. I know that for sure, because that's the only thing I've done to him or said to him that was awful. I've been by his side so many times. And so basically I did, yeah, me and my friend did the social experiment. It was a prank. We apologized. He forgave us. And then when the group broke up, like fast forward, I'm sorry if I'm fast forward. I just don't want to. This is 17 minutes long already. I really don't want to, keep it going. So I might make a part 2 to this for all we know. But so fast forward like 3 to 4 months. My friends are living their lives. He's living his life. I don't care about him anymore. I try to like let go of all the bad mojo he's had on me. So I'm living my life. Then he comes out of nowhere and starts texting me. So I have no problem with you trying to figure out or apologize. Apologize to what you did to me or what you said or what you said you were going to do. I have no problems against that. But if you text me and send me voice messages on Instagram telling me of how fucking toxic I am and how I'm such a horrible friend, and you've been way worse than I was, if you tell me that, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other fucking story. Because, like, you would expect a person to apologize. I apologized to him. He never said, "Hey, Renee, I'm really sorry for, I know I really messed up by saying these things about you, saying these things about the girls. I really didn't mean it. I really didn't mean to start the arguments. I was just doing this and that and this and that." Yeah, this is what he said. Instead, he went on about how I'm such a horrible friend, how the girls should have had his back instead of mine, how I should have chose him over them, because there was a period in the time where they wanted me to choose between them, and I didn't choose either, because A wise man and wise woman once told me, if you don't know who to choose between two people, choose yourself and walk the other way. You do not care in the end. If one of them is loyal to you and you know that, if one of them is loyal to you and you know that, and the other one's not loyal to you, but the other one that isn't loyal wants you to stay by their side, you must be crazy. You better go the other way, sister. You better go to the people that are loyal to you before you get your heart broken. And I wish I would have, I wish I would have listened to that because I didn't. I'm not saying that I chose him, but after the whole, situation, after the whole, group, our group officially split up, our Snapchat group chat was not deleted. Well, technically it was, it wasn't deleted, at the beginning. It's, it took it 2 to 3 months for everybody to start leaving the group chat. We were literally just done. Then, so basically, we just decided that, it's imagine you have, you're a kid, you're a little kid, and you and your friend are sharing this toy. Imagine me as a toy, and imagine the two sides that I still really care about. And yes, I know people are gonna start hating me because I said I still care for Jonathan, and which I don't at this time in life because this was months ago. This was practically a year. Let me just tell you this. This was leading up from December 20, not even December, November 2019 up until not even March, up until up until I started school, or up until September, October time. And he still texts me till this day. But this, just imagine that. So he, what's it called? So imagine yourself being the toy that two sides are imagine yourself as a tug of war rope, and two sides are pulling at you because you can't figure out which one you want to go with. You don't know what you're gonna do or what you're gonna say that will break their hearts. So what you do, you decide to split, or this is what I did. I decided to split my time with both sides, which is really stupid because I just should have just walked away when I had a chance, but yeah, I didn't. One side was really fun and really cool to hang out with. Yeah, that was the girls. One side was the girls. They were loyal to me. I'm still loyal to them. I still talk to them till this day. They're still my number one group of friends. The boy, on the other hand, I guess you can call me a spy. I wouldn't call myself a spy because the girls weren't knowing. The girls didn't know what Jonathan was saying behind their backs while I was hanging out with them or talking to him on the phone, until I told them and I said, we need to deal with this boy, but we didn't want to confront him because then he's going to try and deny it and make it a bigger deal. So what my friend said, she said, okay, I want you to try and say something and let's see if he'll listen or if he'll agree. And he'll think that you're on his side, but secretly you're not. You don't trust it. And I was like, okay. I tried it. He didn't. He fell for it. He fell for it really hard because he genuinely hates these people. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be friends with somebody. I'm not gonna be friends with somebody who's talking crap about somebody else, somebody else that I care about. I know, and I told him multiple times. I said, you could stop talking shit about them. They don't even talk about you. They don't care about you. And there was a point in this whole conversation between me and him that he'd want them to forgive him, but after all the shit he said and done, none of us would forgive him. Heck, I wouldn't forgive him till this day. So if he texted me and said, hey Renee, I'm sorry for all the shit that I caused since the 8th grade up until now, I would say, first of all, I don't give a fuck. Second of all, you can keep your sorry little apology because I'm not accepting crap from you because I learned the first time what would happen. So that really caught me off guard. And the worst part about it is that I kept on coming back. And I asked Jenny on the phone a couple of times. I said, Jenny, I really need your help with something. I want an answer for something. This is a medical term. And she said, what's wrong? I said, why is it that why is it that Jonathan keeps on saying shit about me, keeps on doing this, keeps on doing that, saying shit about you guys, making me feel like I'm the worst person in the world for picking both sides. Why is it, but why do I keep on coming back to that? And she told me that it could be Stockholm Syndrome. And I said, what's Stockholm Syndrome? She's like, well, she's like, in those certain, like, not like killer movies, but like in those certain movies where girls or guys get kidnapped by their kidnappers and then they secretly fall in love with their kidnappers or abusers. That is technically what I was going through. I'm not saying that Jonathan physically abused me in any way. No, he did not. But emotionally and mentally, he messed with me. He messed with me good, and yet I wish I could have told myself to back off and to back down and just to leave his ass at the time, because if I did, I wouldn't have, like, now I'm a very, like, loving person, but now that I've experienced that friendship, that toxic friendship with him, my walls are way more up. Now I'm in high school, I'm a ninth grader, I'm a freshman, even though I'm not going face to face in school for who knows how many more months. But, like, that's made me get my walls up so much because it made me realize, it just made me realize how much, like, I could care about somebody and then them to use me or just, like, use me mentally, use my emotions, take advantage of my emotions, and screw me over so many times, and I would still stay with that person, or I would still talk with that person. That just messed me up so much, like, and not to mention that I know that this is taking a toll on me because I've had severe, I wouldn't say severe, I would say I've gained depression from this friendship. I've gained way more anxiety than I've had for the last 3 years. I've had anxiety for the last 3 years. It kept on getting worse. And the anxiety got worse because of school. But now it's like social anxiety. Because of him and because of the experience that I've had with him being such a toxic friend in my life, I haven't made any friends in high school so far. And I've been in high school since what? Since September 18th. September 18th was my first day of school. So for the last October, September, for the last three-ish, 4-ish months, for the last 4-ish months, I haven't made any friends because I've dealt with somebody who I thought I can trust, then they would just use me over for my emotions, and it really, really messed with my head, and it really did. So I will make a part 2 to this because I don't want to keep on talking. This video is 27 minutes long. This is longer than any gacha movie I've ever made. This is longer than any gacha live music video I've ever made, any type of gacha video. But I will try to do a Q&A. Like, you guys can comment down on this video, comment down, what's it called? Comment down questions for me. It could be about this story time. It could be about this specific story time. Or it could be about, like, my gacha channel, how I'm just beginning. Or you can, like, DM me on my Instagram or, like, my Snapchat and give me some tips about how to do this and how to do that. Because I'm still learning. I'm not good at it, but I'm still learning. But anyways, this is the end of the video. I don't have an I'll put my outro in there later. But, I love you, my little starlets, and peace out. Woo! I didn't turn it off. Bye! Bye out, my little starlets. Peace.